Gervonta Tank Davis. I made a few videos about him in the past, man, about who really beats Tank. But as time progressed, he he took some extra fights. He got a few more wins on his record. Other fighters that I compared him to, they had more wins or whatever on their record. So you got to really get to analyze it a little bit further. All right, and a lot of these dudes, they not really fighting that many. Like none of them hardly are fighting anybody. It's not just Tank. Devin hasn't really fought anybody. Ryan Garcia hasn't really fought anybody. Tank hasn't really fought anybody. The only ones, I'm keeping it all real, the only dudes from 135, 130, 135 that has some decent fights, good fights under their record is Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, and shit. That's it. Richard Coleman, bro. I can't really see. That's it. That's it. The rest of them, and I like Devin, but it's not Devin's fault why he hasn't really fought anybody. Dudes didn't want to fight Devin, so it's not the same. Tank is different. Reason why Tank ain't really fought nobody is because of Floyd and fucking Leonard Ellerby. That's the reason why he ain't fought nobody. Ryan Garcia, he just been flaking and shit like that. So all these other cats, they like secondary. Shaquar Stevenson, he's in 130. He has some pretty decent fights. He has some pretty good fights under his, but his resume is going to become more solid. His resume, I think, is better than Tank's, in my opinion. So Shakur is a difference. Shakur, Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez, man, that's probably it. That is it. The rest of them, no. As far as Tank, who beats Tank Davis? Well, let me just say this, man. Tank he's a dog, strong, he's powerful. I had thought his power was overrated, but seeing what he did to Rolly being a bigger dude, they say Rolly hit like a cruiserweight. A lot of people saying Rolly, we take him for a joke, but when he used to say he punches hard, a lot of people like, yeah, whatever. Even myself, but then other people say, nah, he punched hard, dude. Tank even said it. Tank said, nah, he got some power. So Rolly definitely hits hard, but he just don't have he's not on the level of these other dudes. Now, Tank looked good against Rolando Romero. He boxed him for most of the fight. He outboxed him for most of the fight. Tank looked good against Leo Santa Cruz, but he was getting touched up a little bit. It's his boxing, though. Mario Barrios was a pretty good fight for Tank. But can we say how good Tank really is until he fights somebody that's either on his level or above him? See, everybody he's been fighting really been either teetering under him or way below him. So we don't know how his skill set is going to play off against, top ops. And the only thing I didn't like about the Tank versus Rolly fight is after this whole grand shit, like this was some big spectacle. Like he was fighting somebody that's like a world beater, or he's like this is a super mega unification fight, and then after he won, everybody just jumping around like, hold on, which one is it? Y'all said Rolly's a bum, but y'all jumping around for joy like y'all just beat the greatest boxer in the world. I never understood that shit. This is not just with Tank. I've seen this with a few other fights. Like, yo, you said this dude was a bum, but you jumping around, everybody all hype because you beat this dude, but you just said he was a bum. Like, think about that for a minute. Does that make any sense? This was not a real challenge for Tank. Now, when I say who can beat Tank, it's a very valid question, because while Tank looks good against the dudes he's been fighting, he does have a skill set. For as far as we can see, he has a skill set, but we don't know how that skill set is going to do against other fighters that we want to see him fight. Well, what is it going to take to beat Tank Davis? Well, it's gonna take a combination of things, man. You gotta have IQ, patience, excellent defense, and you're gonna have to have some. It's depend. The power thing is like a. It depends, man, because you gotta look at it like this. It's you want to stop somebody like Tank Davis because you don't want him to get stronger as the fight progresses. But then again, if you're skilled enough and you have great defense and you're an outboxer, you should be able to box his head off for the whole 12 rounds. If you're really that confident in your skill level, you know what I mean? So let's talk about a few dudes that can and see if these dudes can really beat Tank Davis. I'm gonna start from 130 to like 140. Hopefully, it's don't be too long. We got Shaquar Stevenson. Everybody, they familiar with each other. I believe they sparred. They're real tight. I mean, they have history. They were going back and forth in the past, on social media. Shaquar Stevenson is a great boxer. I mean, he has the best defense. I think in boxing right now, Shaquar Stevenson has the best defense. I would say after Shaquar, as far as defense wise, shit, man. And I'm not just talking about weight classes. I'm talking about overall in boxing, like defense wise. I would have to say Tyson Fury, man. I think Tyson Fury is right behind Shaquar Stevenson. But with that being said, Shaquar has the IQ to beat Tank. He can outbox Tank. He definitely can outbox Tank. He has the defense to not get hit by Tank with some crazy shit. But that's the thing, man. Tank can still catch you. And that's the thing with Shaquar. We haven't seen him hit by anybody with any significance yet. I know they sparred. I think they sparred in the past, but sparring is different. They've both elevated their games since then. That would be a pretty good fight. Shakur's gonna have to be like A1 on his game that whole fight if he's gonna probably take it to the cards. He might not have the power to stop Tank, and that might not be a good thing. But if you, like I said, if you can outbox him, you could go to the win. I mean, clearly outbox him. You're gonna have to be patient when it comes to fighting Tank Davis. The key to fighting Tank is you gotta let him come to you. I see that too. That's what I noticed too. You gotta let Tank come to you. When you you press Tank, he's gonna counter you and he's gonna take advantage of your aggression. You gotta be kind of lax, but like cautious, but kind of like you gotta do what he do. Like, all right, Tank like letting you come to him a lot too, but you gotta play like, nah, come to me. Eventually, he's gonna want to come to you. So I think that's how you beat Tank too. Don't press him until like you got him. Like if he's tired or like you got him in deep waters and he's really like his power is waning or whatever, then go in there and press him responsibly though. And the only people that can do that, I believe, is Devin Haney and Shaquar Stevenson. I don't think anybody else from 130 to 140 has the defense really to do that. Now Shakur's defense is definitely better than Devin Haney's, but I think Devin's probably like third behind after Tyson Fury. I would say maybe Devin Haney. I could be wrong about that, but I think Fury is the second. But with that being said, Shakur Stevenson is a strong possibility he could beat Tank on the cards, or he could probably hurt Tank because Shakur's power, I think it's coming. If he gets to 135, it's already talks because Shakur wants to fight. He said he'll fight Tank. Tank said he ain't going down to 130, so Shakur gonna have to meet him at 135. So that's the only time we will see them clash. Will be at 135. So something to stay tuned for. Chris Colbert, let's talk about him. Absolutely not. I think he's a good fighter, but I think I think his hype train has been stopped by the last dude that whooped on him. And he from the borough. Shout out to Chris Colbert, but nah, he ain't it. Tank stops him too. Shakur would probably beat him down too. They was going back and forth too. Shakur smoke him as well, but Chris Colbert shouldn't even be really in the conversation. I just threw him in there. 135 now. Michel Rivera. I always like Michel Rivera. A lot of people don't really talk about him much, but I like his boxing style. I think he's underrated, bro. Michel Rivera. You don't really hear too much about him, man. I don't know why, but I think he's underrated. I think he can give Tank some good work. But he's been knocked down a few times, so he's a decent counter puncher though. I think he can probably counter Tank with some good shots. Not really sure how strong he is, his power and stuff like that. He seems to have pretty decent power. Could he hurt Tank? I don't know. Now, Tank, as far as his chin, I seen him get hit by Isaac Cruz, got hit by Mario Barrios, he got hit by Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz is not a big puncher. Mario Barrios was a decent puncher. Isaac Cruz is a good, decent puncher. And I've never seen Tank physically disoriented from any of those guys. So I would say Tank's chin is pretty good. He ain't been hit by nobody like a Regis or anybody like that yet, but he's been hit by Rolly. And even Rolly hit. Remember, this is a guy they saying Rolly hit like a cruiserweight. He caught Tank a few times in that fight. Never seen Tank really hurt. So that's probably why they call him Tank. I'm just keeping it real. But Michel Rivera, I think, will give him a good outbox. He'll outbox Tank a little bit, but I don't think he'll beat Tank either. I think Tank probably eventually get him too. Probably in the late rounds. Who else at 135? Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia claims he want to fight Tank in December. More than likely, we would probably get that fight before we would get a Devin Haney fight. That's more realistic. But we don't know. We'll see. Ryan said he saw something in Tank when he fought Rolly. Excuse me. But we know Ryan be all, he just run his mouth a lot. A lot of people say they see something in somebody, and then we find out that they thought they saw something, and they find out it ain't what they thought it was. You know what I mean? But Ryan Garcia, he has good power. He's very fast. Problem with Ryan Garcia is he doesn't really tuck his chin. I think he's susceptible to lefts. Was it Luke Campbell that caught him with that left? Because Ryan Garcia's defense ain't the best. He's very defensively irresponsible as well. Not as bad as a Rolly or nothing like that, but he needs to learn how to plant his feet a little better. Sometimes he can get a little aggressive. Can't do that with Tank. What'll happen with Ryan Garcia is he'll go in there aggressive after a while. Tank will probably lull him to sleep. He gonna probably do a Rolly, but Ryan Garcia he's gonna get hit with the same uppercut, similar kind of like the Leo Santa Cruz uppercut. I can see Ryan kind of doing what Rolly did, but head straight up, and then Tank right there, right in that pike, boom, left uppercut, knocked out. I think Tank knocks Ryan Garcia out like maybe 7-8 rounds. Then we got George Kambosos. He's susceptible to overhand rights and right hands too. I think George Kambosos. So, how tall is George Kambosos? He's kind of short. I think he's like 5'6". I think he's a little taller than Tank. Nah, I just don't see George beating him either. I think he gets knocked out. I think Tank knocks him out with a right or something. He's gonna hit him with a. I think Tank is a southpaw. I see fucking Tank knocking him out with a jab, man. I can see that happening, man. Right hook or a jab, knocking him out. I don't see that fight gonna go maybe 5 rounds. The Kambosos fight, I don't see that lasting long. Now remember, these are some of the guys that we want to see him fight now, and I'm just giving my honest opinion on this, man. Devin Haney, 135. Excellent outboxer, decent defensive skills, great footwork, great speed. You know, people complain about Devin Haney's power being an issue. There's, even Devin Haney, I was kind of upset. He asked Linares how was his power. I didn't really like that too much, man. I don't think he should have really did that. But I think Devin's concerned with his own power. That's, to me, when he does stuff like that, he's doubting certain things about himself, man. I don't really like seeing that. There's always things he can do to work on his power. Or, hey, sometimes you just ain't got it, man. Some boxers just ain't got it. Some of them are naturally born with power. Sometimes you got to grow into your power. I don't know. Or sometimes you just ain't blessed with power. You just a Paulie Malignaggi or something like that. You just don't got them heavy fists, Can't force it. So you gotta take what you got and use it to the best of your abilities, But Devin Haney's a patient fighter. There's a strong possibility he could beat Tank because he's a great outboxer. The problem is, though, his defense is going to have to be more sharp than what it is. You can't use that Philly shell stuff. You have to be careful doing that with Tank. And he can't get clipped by nothing big. Because there's a possibility he can get hurt in there. Keeping it all the way buck. Can he hurt Tank? Hey, put it like this. Leo Santa Cruz was piecing up Tank, right? He's not the biggest puncher, similar to like Devin Haney. But Devin Haney's defense is far better than Leo Santa Cruz's defense. So it's quite possible that Devin Haney could piece Tank up for a whole 12 rounds. I'm talking about bust up his face. Like, did you see Tank's face after he fought Leo Santa Cruz? I would say Devin Haney probably got more power than Leo Santa Cruz. So you factor that in. I see Devin will probably outbox him for 12 if he's careful and is not overly aggressive. I don't really have to worry about the overly aggressive thing. The problem is with Devin, sometimes he tries to impress the fans too much. Kind of similar to when he fought Linares. I don't want to see that happen if he fights Tank. Just do whatever you do. Fight your fight. And I think if he fight his fight, he beats Tank. All right, who else at 135? Keyshawn Davis. I can't really talk on him yet, man, because it's a lot that remains to be seen with him. There were words about, I think he called out Tank or something like that. That's cool. Dudes is going to want to do that. I understand that. But I'm not sure if he's really ready for Tank right now. So, would like to see it, though. Don't think he beats Tank just yet. I think at 135, you also got Frank Martin. He's a decent fighter. I think that'll be a good fight for Tank for some reason. I like Frank Martin, man. He just started to make a little noise. But I think he sparred Tank too. I would like to see that though. That would be a good fight. Not sure if he beats Tank though, but I think that'd be a good scrap for Tank. There's more I gotta watch on Frank Martin before I could really pass judgment on that one. But I had to throw his name out there. Rayo Venezuela. Y'all know Rayo. Jose Venezuela. He's a good puncher. He's just getting started in the game too. He's a pretty heavy-handed dude. But same thing. I think Tank knocks him out too. 135. Who else is there? Richard Coleman. He's not really making much noise anymore. I think Tank probably stops him. Probably like 5 rounds. I think he gets stopped. Richard Comey might get a little bit. He's sometimes his defense ain't the best either. You saw what happened with Teofimo Lopez. But he's gonna probably go in there, get a little overconfident, and get knocked out in the 5th round. That's what I see happening to Richard Comey. Vasyl Lomachenko. This fight's people been talking about him and Loma fighting for years, never materialized. I think Floyd had a lot to do with that. Lomachenko, great boxing speed, excellent footwork, uses great angles, decent power. He's not the biggest puncher, but a good, decent puncher. Loma might have a chance, his footwork. But see, Loma, he's got guy IQ, so he's not going to get overly aggressive with Tank, man. Loma has a chin, too, because Tio was hitting him with some shit, and he never fell, never looked fucking hurt. I think he got buzzed maybe once, but he got a chin, dude. And I don't know how hard Teofimo hit compared to Tank, but I guess Tank probably got a little bit more power, but still, Tio ain't nothing to sneeze at. He took a lot of Tio shots, man. But that would be a good fight for Tank, man. He's probably one of the guys that probably could beat Tank. I'm not sure how much Loma. He looked good in his fight against Richard Comey, but I'm not sure if he's starting to slow down a little bit. He's a little bit on the older side, man. So that could play a factor too against somebody like Tank, But moving up to thinking am I forgetting anybody at 135? Shit, man, I don't know. I don't think I forget nobody at 135. Let's go up to 140. I'm going to stop there at 140. There's not many here, but a few. Montana Love. They sparred before. Him and Tank had sparred. He gave Tank some decent work. Tank was in there doing his thing, though. Tank is a little monster, man, for real. Got to keep it all the way a buck. Tank is a little beast. But Montana Love, man, after watching his last performance, I mean, sometimes, you have a lackluster night. But I see Tank catching him with some shit, man, late. Because Montana Love got pretty good defense, good footwork. His power, But I think Tank gets him, dog. Maybe like 9. Tank gets him. Probably with a left hook or something like that. He gets him. Regis Prograis. So to appreciate Regis Prograis, gotta just watch this. You gotta watch him, bro. You gotta just look at him box, man. Got excellent power. He seems decent IQ. His own little style of defense, pretty good for what it's worth. Decent speed. But can he run with Tank? Can he take a punch from Tank? Can Tank take his punch? We don't know. Regis is a very calculated fighter too. He's not overly aggressive. Again, when he knows what he can, I think him and Tank is similar. Like when they both feel your power and they know what they can take, then they're gonna bring it in close to you. That fight is gonna be a war. Regis Prograis and Gervonta Tank Davis, that is a war. That fight ain't going to the cards. Somebody gonna get knocked out in that fight. I can tell you that. And I don't know who. I can't tell you. Moving on to Gary Antoine Russell. After, like I said, watching a few of his fights, excellent fighter, good power, aggressive style. Sometimes he get a little bit reckless in there. So if he tightens that up, then that's a good fight. If he don't, I think Tank will get him too. Depending on how good his chin is, I think Tank will probably get him. If he gets too overly aggressive and gets reckless on the inside, Tank will probably get him. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. I'm keeping it real. There's a handful I think really got a chance against Tank, bro. Even though Tank ain't really been fighting nobody, when you think about these dudes, and you compare their skill set, you think about what they bring to the table, like it's not many, man. Like some of them don't have all of the attributes, but some have just enough that they probably could pull it off. Some might have the power, some don't, some can't outbox, some probably could. You know, it depends. Who else is at 140, man? I mean, shit, man. That's to me. Am I missing anybody? Shit, man. I probably did, but those are the main people right there. So out of all those that I just named, the only ones that give a chance of beating Gervonta Davis is Devin Haney, Vasil Lomachenko, Shaquar Stevenson, and Regis Prograis. That's it. Oh yeah, and Teofimo's at 140. Tio said in a recent interview after he fought Rolly that he's the only one that he said he seemed like he's gonna have to be the one to beat Tank. So he pretty much called Tank out too. They had familiar. They sparred when they was younger. Tank was tossing them all around the ring and shit, but you know that's sparring, man. They was young. They both got better since then. Tio's a good fighter though. I think that'd be a good scrap. Do I give Tio a chance to beat Tank? If he don't get overly aggressive, man, I don't know. See, Tio's too emotional, bro. He brings his emotions into the ring. I think Tank can get inside his head outside the ring. He definitely gonna whoop him if he do that. You know, I don't think. See, I gotta say no to a Tio because he just too emotional outside the ring. He gonna bring it in the ring and he gonna get knocked out. That's what's gonna happen with him. Not so much of the skill set. He got the skills, but the problem with Teofimo Lopez is his emotions. He let it get the best of him, and you know how it go. You see what happened with Kambosos. Same thing gonna happen with Tank. So I only give 4 fighters a chance, at least right now, from 130 to 140 of beating Tank. Regis Prograis, Devin Haney, Vasil Lomachenko, and Shakur Stevenson. That's it. Anyway, I'm off this, man. I want to know what y'all think. I'm going to catch y'all later, and I'm out.